Minecraft 1.20's name was officially revealed this week. It's going to be called the Trails and Tales update. However, the much more obvious question is not what is the update called, but when is it actually coming out? When can you play with all of the features inside of it? And this is something Mojang is being much cagey about. In fact, they only recently confirmed they were near finished adding features to it, so when can you actually play it? And the answer to that question is that since the modern era of Minecraft, we've seen updates only really release in two time periods. One is just before the summer, and one is just before the Christmas season. These are the two best sales periods for Minecraft, so that makes sense. Which of them can we expect? I think it is a near guarantee if they finished adding features, it's going to be summer 2023. But you want more specificity than that, and so rather than using feelings or guesses, let's look at the past few summer updates. In 2022, we had an update launch on June the 7th, and that was pretty wild. On June the 8th of 2021, we had Caves and Cliffs, brackets part 1, which they kind of forced out so they could have their summer update, and then we had a 1.16 update on June 23rd of 2020. Yes, the pattern really is that predictable when you list it out like that. Every single June, Minecraft tries to release an update. In fact, the last time they didn't do that was last decade, which is just a fancy way of saying 2019, and so there's a clear pattern of trying to release in June, and this is vaguely matched up. This is clearly their target, as we can tell from what they're doing in terms of features. We had a big push after Minecraft Live last year, and a big push at the start of this year to add new features, but then at the end of last month, they announced that they've been making no more major feature announcements. That's not to say that nothing else is coming. There's lots to be refined, especially when it comes to archaeology or the Cherry Grove biome, or literally adding the armor trim system to Bedrock. There is a lot to be refined and worked out, and honestly, every update does tend to take a few months to bug fix, and then after bug fixing, they have to make sure it works on every platform and send out the certification, and then it will actually come out. Add in the fact that Minecraft Legends is coming out in April, and so they're really going to want to give that a wide berth so as many people as possible play it. I think a June release date is likely, and then if we add on the fact, because obviously some people have questioned, like, what about when 1.20 is coming to Bedrock? It's coming out for Bedrock and Java at the same time. Updates have been coordinated since 1.16 to release on both platforms on the same day, and that day is always a Tuesday. And therefore, looking at June, there are only these 4 days it can possibly release on: June 6th, June 13th, June 20th, and June 27th. I would therefore say June the 6th is their target. However, there is a lot still to be done with this update, and if some of that gets delayed, or there's a big diversion, or something awful happens, then that could obviously slow this down. So June the 6th is what it looks like, but obviously, like with most Minecraft updates, they tend to announce a release date only towards the end. The reason they do this is supposedly for crunch reasons. They don't want to have to force staff to work a bunch of time to hit a deadline, and so they won't make the deadline public until it's absolutely guaranteed. This is an interesting way of working. It is one of the systems, and it's what they're using for Minecraft 1.20, but now we've spoken about how Minecraft 1.20 is releasing and when it's releasing, one of your key questions might be what is actually going to be inside of it. And Unsubscribed said they really like the new unenchanted potion textures. They hope they keep them. Interestingly enough, you can actually see right here that this is what the new potions look like in the current pre-release for 1.19.4. However, King B Dogs, who is a well-known prolific Minecraft developer, actually says that a note on the potion color changes: we recognize that this change is not going to improve the readability for all color blindness. A real solution is to make individual potion textures for each type, but for now we're just doing a small fix until we have capacity. In other words, they want to have potions distinguished not just by color, but something about the texture too. You should be able to see a black and white image of a strength potion and know, yeah, that's going to make me stronger, and that is a really interesting idea. But if you're curious about what they mean by capacity, that was my first question too, and apparently Thomas Shiflett had his question directly answered by King B Dogs as well, because that means they need time to do a more proper fix. Right now, the graphical artists are busy working on something, or they don't necessarily have the time to work on all of these different potions, whether that is Minecraft Legends that's keeping them tied up. I mean, there is a big Minecraft release happening a month from now. Whether it's that's happening, or whether it's something else related to 1.20, we don't know for sure, but it could be that in 1.20 their plan is to fix that, because for right now they just say it's a simple change that can be made quickly, so they wanted to do at least something small towards solving it first. And that's a good point. Anything, just because you can't come up with the perfect solution, it doesn't mean you shouldn't come up with a good solution. Speaking of good solution, it sounds like they're doing the opposite of that when they spend resources on making something so old as Java. Why don't they just make a more modern and stable Minecraft 2? And you've got to admit at this point, after 20 sub-updates, Minecraft 2.0 is something you'd expect, but let me tell you, Minecraft 2 already exists. They programmed a whole brand new version of Minecraft in an entirely different language, but people hate it because they are confused by the different sizes of the salmon and the fact that you can place blocks ahead of you, and most importantly, there are so many bugs. It is basically basically the bug version of Minecraft, and so that is why Minecraft 2 is not really Minecraft 2. In fact, it's missing quite a few features from Minecraft 1, and although that might seem like a terrible way to refer to Minecraft Bedrock, that is basically what and why Minecraft built it, which seems a little weird and unfair. But speaking of weird and unfair, Sledge Painter asks, does a new world have to be started to enjoy the cherry blossom biome spawning into it, or will it generate in our already created worlds? In other words, if you have a pre 1.20 world and then you update to 1.20, can you find the brand new biome complete with its beautiful new leaves and look at this wood, wow, it's amazing. Can you find this in your existing worlds? The answer is yes, but it's a bit more complex than you might think. Like with every update, the answer to this really comes down to if there are unloaded chunks in your Minecraft world, when you go into those chunks, Minecraft generates them using the current world gen. This is how it's always been until 1.20, that is, because when the snapshot released for 1.20, it was clearly stated that if you wanted to actually have these brand new biomes, you'd have to make a new world in this snapshot specifically, which has a lot of people worried, like, oh, will I only find cherry blossoms in existing worlds? And thankfully, I can answer from personal experience now, because yesterday, while I was streaming my Nomad run of Minecraft, I actually ran into a cherry blossom biome, despite the fact that I started that world long before the cherry blossom biome was added. Specifically, I didn't launch it in that one snapshot, so it looks like they did work out the backwards compatibility. In fact, I don't even think there was an issue. I imagine they just made it that way in case they drastically changed the biome and didn't want to alter anyone who was playing in the snapshots worlds in that way. With that said though, yeah, the Cherry Grove is a biome that is clearly going to undergo a little bit of work between now and the finished release. I think the biome is pretty, I think the trees look great, however, it does seem to be a little rare right now, which is apparently quite easy for them to fix, so they're probably going to be adjusting the rarity over the course of the snapshots between now and when 1.20 releases. Again, they're going to be using this time to make sure the final version is a little bit more polished than what we're seeing in the form of snapshots. We're just kind of getting an early preview at that stuff, just like how we get an early preview when Roger Badgerman leaks stuff. But there's been a lot of theories, people saying, okay, do you think Roger Badgerman is a legit leaker, or is it just an inside job by Mojang? This has really caught fire over the last few weeks. Quite a few YouTubers are now on board with the idea of Roger Badgerman being a part of Mojang, but this week we got near confirmation that he almost certainly is not. The reason that I'm so sure is because this week Mojang has been making a very big deal about the announcement of the name of 1.20, the Tales and Trails update, as it is definitely known, and so this is a very interesting push they've been doing all week, trying to get us all excited and talking about the name. It's very clever marketing, and that entire marketing strategy has cut off if just a few hours before the announcement, they announced editor mode for Bedrock. This is an announcement which gets some number of people who'd otherwise be talking about their big update announcement that they want to get as widely shared as possible, instead talking about something else. This is actually, you know, pro tip, this is what you do with news when you want to bury it. You announce something quite bad, and then you announce something really big that overshadows it, and then you can wait till the weekend, but for example, or you can do it first thing on Monday when you know there's going to be a bunch of stuff after it. Bad news is done before big news, and good news is done with a big gap around it, so that as many people as possible can hear the good news. And so if it was an inside job by Mojang, they'd be doing a terrible job right now, and they might be getting fired. But I really am relatively sure this isn't the case, because again, the way they're showing these tools and the way we're getting these previews is very great and honest. I mean, if you look at the official Mojang trailer, they have to put this is preview 1.20 footage, whereas if you look at Roger Badgerman, he's just like, yeah, here's what the tool looks like. It is incredible, but I think the odds of it being an inside job have gone massively down, unless they're doing a deliberately bad job. But that's the thing about conspiracy theories, right? You can always say, what if they're just doing this to look like it's like that? And you can never be sure, but I think without any further information, it'd be really hard to assume that's the case. Speaking of assuming that's the case, Roacher Chicken has assumed that you can get Minecraft Crocs for free, but actually they will cost you £54.95. Wow, Crocs sure are expensive, but you can get them for free, and let me give you a little life pro tip right here. If you want to get free Crocs, instead of going and hitting buy now on the Crocs store, instead load up Minecraft and then go to the character creator and then look through. There's so many types of footwear now, and I don't think it's in here. Let's go to the marketplace and type in Crocs over here, and okay, it's not in the marketplace. Let's go back to the character creator. Maybe we just have to look through all of them till we see something Croc looking, and there we go. That is the Crocs. As you can see, Minecraft customization on the Bedrock Edition is a beautiful thing. Truly, this is Minecraft 2, as you can tell from the beautiful array of customization that is definitely not distracting and a whole problem. My character looks perfect, and if you tell me otherwise, I think you're bigoted against microtransactions. Speaking of being bigoted against microtransactions, this next comment comes in from Telos954. If you want real story, go pay Pigus money for other games. Go make your story. Otherwise, And honestly, there is a lot of Minecraft that's leaning towards, hey, we won't give you this unless you give us some money these days. But I think the story is not one of those things. Sure, if you want to get some official Minecraft lore, you can go on the store and you can buy it, and then you can get even more from Minecraft Story Mode and Minecraft Dungeons and Minecraft Legends, and you know, one of those games doesn't exist anymore. But you know, you can do that, and that is a way you could argue they're trying to promote their other games. But I think ultimately Minecraft is better without, you know, you could argue that them adding story to Minecraft would make the game worse. I like that all this story exists in some peripheral universe where I don't have to think about the Order of the Stone as being some real concept in the game. No, the lore in Minecraft is made by the player, and that's what makes the Tales and Trails great, right? They're adding all this story about how the world used to be, but they're letting you, the player, interpret it. I think interpreting that is incredibly fun. There's so many angles you can take it, personally. But yeah, it means that there is a very intriguing system set up to help you tell stories, and that's what 1.20 is about. And it's much better than if they did what you're suggesting, which is maybe they should just add it to Minecraft for free rather than making you play Minecraft Legends, because Minecraft Legends is literally called Legends, right? They're tales. They may or may not have happened. They're literally saying it's non-canonical so that you can keep believing that desert wells or whatever you want to believe they are, and you better believe I believe they're great. Speaking of believing things are great, Stormhunter009 says the features are a 10 out of 10, but there is something missing. Maybe a mob, brackets, a badger, and a structure. So first things first, the badger, which is, you know, Roger Badgerman's name, is actually named that because there's a badger in Minecraft Legends. That's why it's called that thing. And he's like, he found the badger first or something like that. But as far as the, you know, adding something new for 1.20, I do agree that we need a brand new structure, especially because archaeology is in the game. They're telling us they're doing more, but what precisely are they doing? I think a new structure would be a great way to tie that in. But also I think that, you know, like maybe a secret library or something like that. But I do think that we've already got 2 mobs in this update, and they're both huge. Do we need a 3rd mob? I mean, apparently people like mobs, so maybe. But I do have to say that as far as Resurrection with ZRX's question, will archaeology be usable in the Never End? This is one of those really fun ideas. Again, they've hinted there will be more than 4 pottery shards. If there's 4 pottery shards, you're just making 1 pot in different orders. But with, you know, they've told us there's going to be more archaeology stuff coming. They're refining the features that exists. Will it be usable in the Never and the End? I think this is, you know, like, despite what they've told us, I think these are both very unlikely. The End wouldn't really have any archaeology, but the Never has a tiny potential because the Soul Sand Valley biome has these big bone fossils. You know, there's already some archaeology going on there. Maybe that means something big, something exciting, or maybe it means nothing. All I know for sure is that Ezra Pirano says, didn't you just post about how 1.20 won't have a name? And honestly, yeah, if you look at my video, which is titled Why Minecraft 1.20 Won't Have a Name, it looks sure embarrassing to me, and there's a lot of comments pointing that out. And a part of me was like, oh no, did I say they're never going to name this update? And I actually said very clearly in that video, they're deliberately not giving it a name yet. You know, it's really, the full title is Why Minecraft 1.20 Won't Have a Name until they want to do the big marketing. Because I mentioned very clearly in the video, they're going to give it a name around some big marketing push, because people are going to hear about this update for the first time, and they want them to hear about it in some positive way, to associate like, oh, this is the update for Trails, you know, you can journey across your world and find armor trims apparently, and Tales, you know, you can write down the stories of what you found in books. It is meant to be about that theme, and they're getting people excited about it by announcing it later, was my point. They're deliberately not telling people early, even though they've hinted they knew what the name was already. And to be fair, you could argue that's a convoluted title, but I think on YouTube there's a lot of things that are kind of clickbait. I mean, even take for example my subscriber pitch. I say greater than 90% of humans who haven't subscribed to the channel have died at some point. I'm just saying, wouldn't take that risk, right? And that's a misleading statistic, because the reason they've died is because most people were born before this channel existed. And you know, like if you actually look at people who are subscribed, though, to answer Giffy4's question, what's the percent of people who do subscribe that die? It is significantly lower, but only because my channel's only existed for 13 years now, since 2009. I think that's 14 years, wow. But my channel's only existed for 14 years, and given that only about 1.5% of the population die each year, that means that there is less than 20% of the population who has died since my channel's been running, which means of my subscribers, especially because they would probably be younger than the average human, of my subscribers, there are fewer than 10% of those who have died. Therefore, subscribing is statistically correlated with living and not dying, and you can use that information however you will. I do appreciate those who subscribe to the channel, channel, and those who do appreciate that, yeah, we use titles that are designed to evoke some emotion and tell you about why things are happening. Sometimes they go a little over the line, and it's something I actually am always working on, like making sure we get the right balance there, but it is a necessary part of the YouTube game, because if you look at that video called Why Minecraft 1.20 won't, you know, like have a title, and you compare it to, say, my, you know, I know my video from this week, like I can't do this anymore, giving up on the super flat, you can see the view difference, because yeah, even though a lot more people liked as a percentage the super flat video, it's harder to get to new people. There is a real marketing element, and that's why I'm always trying to get it right. But I hope that you appreciate that. I hope you appreciate this channel as a whole, trying to inform you about Minecraft. If you do, maybe subscribe or hit the bell or like it, or honestly, just say something nice to make me feel appreciated. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a good Saturday, because I'll see you tomorrow for some exciting news-based Seed Sunday. You're gonna love it when it comes up. It's my favorite information. It relates to my favorite structure. It's gonna be a good Seed Sunday, and I look forward to seeing you there. Goodbye.